Hi there, it's Robert, the Red Tie Guy, and for today's Terms, Tech, and Tips Tuesday, I am going over listing price. What is listing price? Do you have to accept an offer just because it comes in above or at listing price? What are some general tips for coming up with a listing price? And last but not least, a simple message I would like to convey for those who are considering coming up with a listing price. But before we get into that, your favorite part, the disclaimer. This is general real estate advice and marketing advice. However, every home is different, every sale is different, and when you are signing into a listing agreement, every agent, office, brokerage, state, or association may have different terms for listing agreements, and they may have different ways of enforcing them or interpretations of those agreements. So, as always, consult with your real estate professional, hopefully it's me, when you are entering into an agreement or conducting a sale, or with a lawyer. This is just general advice to help you become more familiar with the terms, but should not be considered specific advice for your deal or your listing agreement. So, with that being said, what is listing price? Listing price is the price of the home, or more accurately, where you want it to appear on the search for a home. If you have a home and you are wanting to attract people looking as high as 400,000 and people looking as low as 400,000, then price it at 400,000, knowing that the people looking as high as 375 and as low as 425 aren't going to see your home. That's ultimately it. You are starting a conversation as the seller by putting the home on the market, putting a listing price, and allowing showings and providing information on the home. That conversation is then continued by the buyers who are putting an offer forth with the terms of the offer, the contingencies, and the price that they wish to purchase it at. The listing price is ultimately where you wish to appear, above those below that list price, but below those above that listing price. And there's a lot of specifics you can put in either the description or the other fields about your expectations or how you want the negotiations to go. For example, you could specify that you will not have offers below the listing price presented or considered. You could also use range pricing, where you would say that you would only counter or accept offers between two specific prices, between here and here. You could also potentially say that you're not going to review any offers until a certain date, creating the expectation that you are anticipating demand and allowing people to potentially see each other and bid over each other because there's an agreed upon amount of time. So, with that being said, if someone comes in with an offer at or above list price, do you have to accept it? The answer is, for me, no, you do not. You could potentially receive more than one offer at or above list price. You might not be comfortable with some of the contingencies attached to that offer. You might have questions about the capability of that buyer and wish to receive more information before accepting so that you know that they are an able buyer. However, always consult with the listing agreement that you have entered into when presenting this. Many of them would consider a list price offer to potentially be the able, willing, and ready buyer that the listing agent promised. By turning down that offer, you may still be required to pay a commission, depending on how the association, that agent, their office, considers the terms of the listing agreement. Is receiving that full price offer a condition where you owe a commission even if you don't accept it? That is definitely something very specific, something that you would definitely need to consult with your agent or with or with your lawyer to consider in your individual circumstances. While I myself would say no, that please do not consider that advice for every transaction and every deal all across the U.S. So, what are some tips then for coming up with the listing price? A lot of emphasis or sellers stress about where exactly should I price the home. A lot of these automated values make people think that they need to be very precise or scientific or sign with the person who recommends the highest listing price. In the grand scheme, however, keep in mind this is the start of the conversation. This is a price that you put it on to attract showings, and people see the home and then they would make an offer. It's a conversation, and you're starting the conversation with this listing price. So my advice on these tips is to consider how you would want that conversation to go, and that is part of the marketing plan. A list price in isolation is just a number, but part of a grander scheme of how does your home appear, when are you hoping for offers, and do you need those offers quickly, or do you have time, or perhaps you have even more time and your home can be on the market. All of those are factors to consider before just saying, I like this list price. Perhaps you want your home to sell fairly quickly. You would like a bidding war. You are pricing it low and presenting a fair amount of information with easy showings in one weekend with the hopes of getting more than one offer. Start the conversation slightly low, but also have that be part of the marketing plan where the buyers are more likely to bump into each other, where the buyers are more likely to attend an open house where they see that multiple people have signed in or that multiple people are visiting, allowing them to see that it is very in demand with that list price goes hand in hand for getting the offers or the response to the conversation that you're hoping for. Alternatively, perhaps the home is vacant. You've taken a bit of pride. You know that your home's nicer than others, and you also know that your home is going to be priced a bit higher than others. Keeping that in mind, you might be open to having your home be on the market for longer. That you are aware they may have to look at other homes before they see the value of your higher priced and nicer home. Therefore, you're intentionally putting the list price higher so that it doesn't receive an offer right away, but potentially with the expectation that you might lower the price slightly depending on traffic over time. Perhaps you're in between the two and you're pricing it fairly. You're hoping for that full price offer and you're a little patient for it. I like to think that regardless of these situations, a 2-week time frame is still very doable for sellers, regardless of whether they want to price it low and be done in just a few days or price it high and potentially do a significant drop for the second weekend. We would know where that would be based on the traffic we receive. Keep in mind when coming up with your listing price what the buyer expectations may be. Some people have an opinion that they shouldn't offer below list price or shouldn't offer unless the home's been on the market for a while below list price because they're worried it's a waste of time and that they won't be responded, that they might be offensive by doing so. Others may be offended that there are other offers above list price and that they have to compete. They're coming in sincerely, highly priced, and yet they feel like their time is being taken advantage of because they're not being responded to quickly, or they feel taken advantage of by a bidding war. The same may go for people who want to say that, well, I made a full price offer, that should be enough. Why do we need to haggle over the small amount? We came in full priced, why are we taking up time? Balance all of that when coming up with a list price, your marketing plan, your expectations. If you're anticipating a bidding war, be prepared for that, be responsive for that, so that the conversation from list price and presentation continue through. Whether you're pricing it high or pricing it low, just keep in mind how people might approach making an offer below, at, or above list price. And last but definitely not least is a general message, especially after the past 2 years where the market was crazy. When you're coming up with a list price, please remember that offers being made by far and large are typically from sincere buyers making an honest effort and putting in a bit of energy to present this, and that the prices are determined by supply and demand. That demand is from agents and buyers who are losing sleep waiting for a response, putting in energy and time to try to get that offer to you in a timely manner that appears very presentable. Pricing your home so low that you're expecting a bidding war, but that the full price offer has no chance of being accepted in that bidding war, that might come off as exploitive and therefore might discourage the demand that is creating the prices that we all would love as a seller. If you're doing a very, very wide range of pricing, it might have that same feeling that there's not really that much effort being put in by the sellers, and buyers feel that their effort or energy to make an honest, sincere offer is being taken advantage of or potentially being exploited, that they're losing faith in the market. Keep in mind this faith in the market from the buyer's perspective that puts forth the sincere, honest effort is what keeps the prices where they are at and keeps home ownership a worthwhile investment for for many investors and families across the U.S. And that should not be something discounted or taken advantage of when putting forth your price. Yes, put forth a price that's going to make you the money that you rightly deserve, but don't do it in a way that generates bad faith in the market, because we are going to need that faith in the market in the future when we need other sales. And by far and large, consider this. Yes, there are auctions where it's a totally different environment because everyone making a bid is probably a real estate professional who's looking to make money. But not every sale is like that, and keep that in mind, that we will need the faithful, honest, good effort buyers in the future in order to maintain that home ownership is a worthwhile investment. And that would be today's Terms, Tech, and Tips Tuesday. I hope y'all appreciate it. Let me know what you think of this advice. Let me know what other recommendations you have for terms and technology to cover in this video series. Subscribe, like, comment, and be sure to keep watching so that you can get other terms and technology and general advice so that you are real estate smart in the future. And as always, I'm never too busy to talk about the market. Give me a call. Be sure to click on the links below to see more homes in the greater Tucson area or to ask what your home could potentially sell for. This is Robert Neely, the Red Tie Guy, and I look forward to hearing from y'all. Thank you.